good time. It was fun. Had a good time.
Good time. Was it overcast or was it?
The morning was a little bit. It rained a little bit, not much. Just a little sprinkle, but
Okay.
but it was good weather. The sun came out later in the day. But I mean, that's why they played early. It wasn't too bad. Weather was nice.
Right. And did they raise a good amount of money
I
for
think
the
they did.
athletic fund at Wayne County High School?
I think they did on the two. I think they raised money just on the 2 hole-in-one holes where you had to buy your hole-in-one. So, but they had 21 teams. So I'm sure they made a good bit of money. I'm not sure what the total is. I'm sure they'll get that later. But it was a good fundraiser. That's what it was all about, to raise money for the general fund. And I think they were pleased with the turnout, pleased with the outcome. Everybody played, had a good time. So good event. Hopefully, like I said, it'll be an annual event each year. But
Okay.
good
So this is the first one, right? Didn't you say?
Right, first athletic fund. And like I said, it's Coach Cribb's idea. He came up with the athletic department's fundraising to get money into the general fund. So
I think from what you mentioned on the sports that you're trying to help raise funds for these sports that don't bring in a lot of money. Football, baseball do, but you got so many other sports that need that support on something like this.
it's good to see all the athletes, all the different coaches. I said, I saw Coach Broadhead, the cross-country coach, was there. Saw Coach Ray, the basketball coach, was there. Baseball coach Justin McDonald was there. A lot of football players, a lot of cross-country runners, a lot of just a lot of kids helping out.
Were they out there helping?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Cheerleaders were out in full force. So it's just a good turnout. It's a good event.
Do they give you lunch or anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Afterwards, everybody had a nice meal. Sausage dogs, hamburgers, it was just good stuff.
Yeah.
It was a good event. Everybody out there about 1 o'clock, so it was good.
Okay. I sent a text message to my son Matt because I knew he was playing on Saturday morning. So I gave him kind of the analogy from Major League. I said, remember when the manager went into the threw the bats in the shower and said, because he was upset with the players, baseball's a simple game. You hit the ball, you throw the ball, you catch the ball. And I told Bob and I told Matt, I said, it's all by text message. I said, golf's the same thing. You drive the ball, you chip the ball, you putt the ball. I wish it was that easy, right?
I wish it was. It was a good time, good event. I had a good time. Always fun as they say, the worst day on the golf course better than work, so it was fun.
Okay.
I played a good group, I said. My partners were Mark McGregor, Cliff Murphy, got to play with Ray Thornton, Mark Sertich, and Mike Phillips. Had just a real good time. Fun day of golf.
Course in good condition still out
The
there?
course in great, but it was wet on the bags. Had to stay on the cart path, but as far as the course is in excellent shape.
Yeah, that back nine really gets low, so you got to be careful with it, especially with them golf carts. You can't go across the fairway with them and don't put tracks on it. You got to stay on that golf cart track.
But Paige has got the course in excellent shape.
Yes,
It's a nice course.
Yeah, very nice course. I'd put it up against any other small town, even medium-sized town, 18-hole golf course anywhere. You see some of these tournaments on TV, professional tournaments now, and you wonder, who are those greenskeepers on that thing? Huh?
The greens are in great shape. I say you can definitely read the greens. That's what a golfer wants, to be able to read the putt. So
yeah,
he has them in great shape.
Okay. Well, good. I hope they've raised a lot of funds for the athletic department, and then we've got football coming your way this Friday night, and we'll be airing that scrimmage game. Is that right?
We're going to broadcast the scrimmage at Thomas County Central, 7:30. I said you're going to run it just like a full game, so it'll be fun to watch, see where we're staying. A lot of anticipation, a lot of excitement. And the barbecue kickoff was great. Coach Dan Brooks had a great message to the kids, and to get this. He was on hand. I said he came all the way from Tennessee, had his national championship ring from Clemson on hand, so the kids could see that. So he did a good job.
That was part of your ring, wasn't it?
It's a lot
of bling bling.
A lot of diamonds in that ring. So. But it was just good, good message. Like I said, he won they gave assistant coach of the year. He won the assistant coach of the year last year nationwide.
Oh, wow.
So
defensive line, right?
Defensive tackle coach, yeah. So just a good guy, but it's fun talking to him. Like I said, it's been a lot easier in Tennessee, so with Coach Phil Fulmer, but it was just a good speech, good message, good turnout, good meal. So the whole weekend just went well for the athletic department. So two good events Friday and Saturday. And all the anticipation builds for this Friday scrimmage. And then 2 weeks from Friday is the First game against West Lawrence on the 25th. So it's here. I got softball tomorrow and Thursday.
So tomorrow's first softball game here at Wayne County at Barbara Struckoff Field, right?
Taking on Pierce County at 6 o'clock.
Okay, 6 o'clock, folks. Get out there and support the Lady Jackets. 6 o'clock tomorrow at Barbara Struckoff Field as the girls go for another great season. I think they only lost, you said one senior, two seniors last year?
One senior from last year's team.
Wow.
So, I got the volleyball schedule. So
you did get the volleyball, huh?
Volleyball. So
when do they begin? You know?
I believe they got a match tomorrow out of town. I believe. I'm not positive. I just got it.
Do we host also here? I mean, they play inside the Benny Ratliff Arena.
They'll host several volleyball matches.
Yeah. Got to go see one of those. You know, hadn't seen a volleyball match in a long time. I'd like to see the girls play. So, going to go to a couple of them this year at least. And the girls softball team out there today. We got the football scrimmage coming up this Friday night at JC Stadium against Thomas County Central. And as Bob just mentioned, 2 weeks away from that very first game, you said West Lawrence.
West Lawrence, right? The 25th.
All right. And so, folks, the fall sports at Wayne County High School kicking in. Of course, not only at Wayne County High School, but the middle schools, they're beginning their fall sports with football and everything else. So remember the middle schools also, you know, they put in a lot of time and effort to get those kids ready for Wayne County High School.
Got a JV team, got a ninth grade football team this year.
Oh, we do? We have a JV and a ninth grade.
All right.
And that's a lot of players.
So it's another thing. Coach Cribs implemented a ninth grade football team. Jason Brown, Ron Twilley coaching the team. So it's going to be fun to watch a ninth grade team play.
Yeah. I remember years ago, back in the 90s sometime, they had a ninth grade team, and they put Coach Madry as the coach of that. And I think he went undefeated that year as ninth grade. If I remember correctly, that was many moons ago. But it's good the fact that you do have that JV team and ninth grade team, because it really prepares those athletes, student athletes, for that varsity on Friday nights. Get that experience.
About that feeder program.
Yeah. Got to move up in the rec department, the middle schools, then ninth JV, and then varsity. And I mean, there's just nothing like Friday night lights when you got the football teams, cheerleaders, band, flag corps, majorettes. You got the color guard there, just all kinds of good stuff going on. It's just a great community event for a small town. Just love it.
It'll be here.
Yeah,
Friday night.
I went to the Georgia Association Broadcaster Summer Convention. It's always held somewhere every single summer, and this year it was held at the Convention Center, the Westin over there on Jekyll Island. Boy, that's a nice facility. You went over there for the opening, right?
It's just a gorgeous facility.
Yeah, gorgeous facility. We had the Georgia Association of Broadcasters Summer Convention. Had a chance to see some broadcasters that I hadn't seen in several years, and one of these seminars we had was small market radio, and many of us face the same challenges and things that we go through. But one of the things that we look forward to every year, and every small market in there does it, is high school football on Friday nights. You know, we all talked about what we do and how we do it, and the technical end of it, and then from the talent standpoint of it, and it's exciting for the school, but it's also exciting for the radio stations. We get fired up about it too. So it's good to have that Friday night football in small towns. Just means a lot to the community. I mean, look at the way that I had several small market folks from this area mention about our high school baseball team that made it to the state championship game, and how exciting that must have been for us. And yes, it was.
Definitely was.
They said they didn't know if they'd like. Some of them said they didn't know if they liked the neutral sites for the final games or not. What was your thoughts on that? Putting them in two different locations.
Well, after seeing what we received on the neutral site, I'm not really excited about the neutral site.
But what did you see that you didn't like on the neutral sites?
Well, like I said, it takes away to me the high school atmosphere. You know, I said that long home runs were nothing but long fly ball outs. It was a great scene, you know, because Wayne County had it dominated. But I said, you thought you were going to get a lot of money, but talking to athletic director and the baseball coach, we didn't get what we thought we would get. You would get a lot more if you just hosted at your own ballpark. So,
Savannah and Grayson Stadium and the host all that over there getting money.
They took all the funds. The fees they implemented.
Yeah, to rent the stadium.
I want the job to maintain the field. I mean, $6,000 maintenance fee to go out and just rake the field in between games.
Oh, wow.
That's absurd. So I just don't like to, there's a lot of disgruntled coaches, like I said, people want that at your own ballpark. You play all year to get it at your ballpark, should be able to find a way to have it at your ballpark. So the first year they did it baseball, where it wasn't at your own site. So I just hopefully they'll get it back. But like I said, it's all about Georgia High School, and they're talking about different sites next year. Like Georgia Southern's trying to get them in the mix. And
baseball, the hospital,
the baseball. They're going to have 4 sites instead of 2 sites. Last year they had 2 sites at Savannah and a place up in Augusta. So I don't know. I don't like it. I like the local field, but I'm the same with high school football. It's sad that they go to Georgia Dome and play instead of playing at your own.
Yeah, because the dome's so big, and of course now it'll be the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, is the fact that you can have several thousand people in there that you would have at a high school football game, but because the venue is so big that you don't get that high school atmosphere there with the stadium packed and all that stuff going on.
The crowd noise you can't hear.
Yeah. Well, if you would, back in 2005, I was just past chairman of the Georgia Association of Broadcasters, and so I was selected to a committee. I think it was about 5 of us that went to the Georgia High School Association and sat down with them and talked to them. Basically about rights fees for playoffs, because that's what they control is rights fees for playoffs, and trying to get that fair. But a lot of us small broadcasters were talking about going back to the Georgia High School Association because of certain issues. And one of the issues that we need to talk to them about, and I'll talk to other small broadcasters in small markets, is that a good thing to do, to have the playoffs in these neutral sites? Is it better to have them at the home fields of the teams? And it'll be interesting to see what other broadcasters in small to medium markets say about that. But I just get the impression from most of them that they would rather have it home versus these big neutral sites.
Like I said, as fun as it was playing for the state title in Savannah, the Locust Grove semifinal atmosphere was off the chain.
A lot more fun.
It's like night and day. It doesn't even compare.
Yeah.
The Locust Grove High School setting with Wayne County and Locust Grove fans back and forth was. I'll never forget that day. That was just wild games up there. So I just don't like the big atmosphere. Like I said, it just takes away and kids have a hard time adjusting to it too. And they made a good point last year. If you're going to make them play on the neutral side, you have to let them practice a few days on the neutral side. I mean, that's the thing.
Right.
Both teams just walked in there cold turkey, had no idea, how deep do I play? I feel we're done,
Right.
It's just.
And what are the playoffs about? Is it about, that's what you got to take a look at. Is it about the Georgia High School Association making money, or is it about the athletes and the coaches and the fans? That's what it should be about.
I just, think about those games. Several of those fly balls would have definitely been home runs at Howard Boatmore Field. At Grayson Stadium, there were long fly ball outs. So it just takes away that part of the game as well, the excitement of the home run. So I just didn't like the neutral side.
Yeah.
Like I said, Georgia High School Association's got their hands on everything. It's all about money. I said we talk about all year long. They're nowhere to be found until state playoffs begin.
They're really not supposed to be found until then. Every high school
come in and they take over and they start making all these demands on fees and rights and everything else.
Yeah. Well, during the course of the season, each school has the right to do what they basically want to do. It's a power of eminent domain. But they've gone into a contract. They've all decided to go with the Georgia High School Association, kind of like college has gone with the NCAA. If all the college teams out there say, hey, we don't want an NCAA anymore, it would stop. Okay, there's no law out there that says that you've got to have an NCAA. But the colleges out there know that you got to have some sort of governing body, or it'd be chaos. And that's the way the high schools and other schools here in the state of Georgia decided we need a Georgia High School Association to keep everything kind of organized. And that's the reason why the Georgia High School Association gets involved once it gets playoffs. Once it becomes playoffs, according to the schools and their agreement with the Georgia High School Association, they take over. You know, so everything is standardized and fair and the same throughout the state, from team to team, town to town. And, you know, during the course of the regular season, unless it's a referee issue or an ump issue, they pretty much stay out of the way.
Don't even get me started on the umpires.
I know, don't get you started on the umpires.
Because Gann Starlin should have been able to pitch in that state playoff game. And then the fact that they come back after the fact and say, oh, yeah, we messed that up, doesn't really help the situation.
Yeah, we goofed up on that, didn't we?
But you think they would know the rules.
Yeah.
In a state event, so.
And they might not be aware of the fact of the Georgia High School Association that, you know, they're thinking, you know, we always know it's about the money. It's always about the money. But they also might not be aware of the fact that the fans, the coaches, the players would rather play home versus going to these big, you know, they're going to these big venues and, oh, yeah, man, we're going to Grayson Stadium, we're going to the Georgia Dome, or we're going here. You know, just from talking to folks, you know, they would rather play home. They'd rather play in the parks that were designed for high school, the fields that were designed, and the stadiums that were designed for high school, not for college, not for semi-professional.
Well, forget the ticket prices. The money on concessions alone would be a major impact, you know, and the host team gets all that. So
right.
That's the thing about it. And like I said, but to see Wayne County, you know, you pictured Grayson Stadium. They still have the pictures. Wayne County had 90% of the fans at that stadium.
Yeah.
Probably 95. I mean, Loganville had a couple hundred people there. That's all they had.
That's all they had.
Everybody else was Wayne County. And the fact that we're not getting as much as we
imagine what we'd have made off concessions if it had been.
So, we definitely got shafted on. I thought, you think you make state finals, you're making a bunch of money. But apparently, from everybody I talked to, we got a small check. So,
well, I guess that's the way for the Georgia High School Association to fund their office and salaries and budget, huh?
Whereas if it was a local event, we got all the concessions, half the, you know, whatever. So,
well, I'll get on the horn.
And like I said, I don't think, talking to Coach McDonald at the golf course yesterday, he said that most of these high school coaches that have teams that are making the state playoffs aren't real happy with the setup. So,
all right,
if anything gets changed, we'll wait and see. But good luck. As like I said, Georgia High School Association's got their hands in it, and they've got the money in the cookie jar. Well, so.
We've got the Georgia broadcasters got them adjust their state playoff fees several years ago, and this will be one of the issues I'll write down to talk to the other broadcasters throughout the state and see what we can do about going to them and say, here are some other concerns that the teams have other than us broadcasters, and see what they say. You know, one of the things to say, there's a new regime up there now. Now's the time to go up there. Now is the time to go up there and express our concerns about stuff. Before, you know, they get settled in, you know, with their new regime up there, since they got that new director up there. So, we'll see, Bob. It's one of the things we can write down and talk to them about. There'll be a group of us broadcasters heading back to them in the next couple of months trying to see what we can do for next season. This season's already set. I mean, we can do about this season. Everything's all ready to go. All right, you've got a very important meeting to go to tonight, don't you?
It's going to be interesting. I said, boy, listen to the work session. It's just they're in a dilemma. You know, where do they go? Do they, you know?
We're talking about the Wayne County commissioners.
Commissioners. I said we've already discussed how the state's, you know, affecting local city and county budgets, but you know, it's affected the county.
Oh yeah,
immensely. So hopefully they're not going more than 1 mil, but even if they go 1 mil, they still have some drastic things they have to do with their budget. So
yeah, they
just got a difficult decision tonight. It'll be interesting what decision is made at the official meeting. So Luther should be back. I said his brother passed away. He passed along our sympathies to him, but he had to attend the funeral. Wasn't able to make the work session, but he'll be in hand tonight for the meeting. And like I said, his proposal was to go to 1 mil with no further cuts and cut spending and things like that. But they're still pretty much up against it. So we'll see what they decide to do.
All right. And so Bob will be at that meeting tonight to see what's going to happen then. As you mentioned, the school board was able to keep the mills where they're at in the city of Jessup. You did mention on the news this morning the Scriven went up just a little bit, right?
A little bit is what Denise said. Not much, but just a slight increase.
Well, as we all know, and it's something that you've reported many times here on your local newscast, and we've talked to the local officials about it. They're getting a lot less money from the state, and then you add that the fact that the tag money is not there. The income from the folks have to pay on getting a new tag. You know, it used to be that you have to pay those property taxes. Now all you do is pay for the tag, and we only get $1 out of it. And then you add the fact that on the gasoline tax, on the fuel tax, we don't get hardly much of that anymore. Then you cut those budget cuts, and the counties here in the state of Georgia are hurting.
I don't see how the state, they say you pay $20, state gets 19 out of the $20. I don't know how they came up with that. No.
I have no idea. They can't even send out notices. I remember, I've got a birthday coming up in 8 days. Now, I've got in my mind to remember that by the 15th, I've got to go down there and buy my tag. And, I forget enough stuff as it is, more or less one time a year to go down there and buy something from for my tag that you just don't think about.
I totally forgot last year. Like I said, I told you that story. My birthday's in September. I think it was October. I went to check on something. They had that sign up on the office saying that they're no longer sending out notices. And I said, oh, yeah, that's why I haven't paid my tax bill.
It should be 50-50, 50 go to the state, 50 go to the county. The county can send out notices plus put a couple bucks in their pocket.
But it's more expensive to send out the notice than it is to what they get, so they can't do it anymore. So
that's just
that was the thing. You used to always get the notice in the mail reminding you.
Yeah, you got the notice in the mail, just like, if you get from the power company or from the gas company or from the water company or anything else. They send you a bill, and you put it in the stack of bills to be paid. But this, you got to remember yourself. Imagine if all these other folks out there didn't send out statements and bills and stuff like that. Everybody would forget.
Not a good way to celebrate your birthday. Oh, by the way, I got to go pay money.
Yeah, but remember, it used to be on your birthday, you had to go out down there and pay a percentage of the value on your vehicle. So they called that the birthday tax, where you had to go pay $500, $1,000, $1,500, whatever the case may be, based on the value of your vehicle. And now, at least you only got to pay like what? $20? $20.
That's if you bought a new vehicle.
Yeah.
If you still have the old vehicle, you're still paying that percentage, I believe.
No, if it's a used vehicle, it's tagged for any vehicle. Everybody drives a used car, Bob. Everybody drives a used car.
I thought it was only for those people that bought new vehicles.
No. When you go down there and renew your tag, it'll be $20. Okay.
For anybody?
For everybody.
Okay.
You drive a used vehicle. So when you go down there on September, it'll be $20.
Yeah, but I bought a new vehicle after the law went in effect. So
yeah, so it's $20 for all tags. Let's see here. Let's see what that says. Yeah, I'll take the $20 and no reminder versus the $400 and a reminder. That's the one just texted in. No, we're not talking about adding the property tax back. We're talking about still keeping it $20, but the county share it 50-50 with the state or something like that, Make it enough where the county can afford to send out statements. Right now, they can't afford to send out statements. It's not going back to the property tax. This is just saying, hey, let's keep it $20, but let's get it where the county makes some money off the tag and just not the state.
The fact you only get $1 out of $20 just doesn't. I don't know how they came up with that. I'd like to. Who made that decision?
Well, it's always the golden rule, Bob. Who controls the gold rules, and so the General Assembly controls the gold, so they rule. It's the golden rule, Bob. It's always about the money. But it would be interesting, you talk to state legislators about it, and you say, well, that's just the way it was written up. No one takes responsibility for it, but
I'm still trying to figure out why they didn't give the sales tax holiday this year. Why they did away with that.
The state says, this is the state's.
No one has an answer to that. What's the answer to that?
There is an answer to it. What the state said, when I say the state, that means the state legislature and the governor and folks like that said they got so many complaints from local counties because the counties would miss out on that money. All right, it's just not the state that misses out. It's the counties that miss out also. So since the counties miss out on that state tax and it hurts them because of their budgets, and of course they're getting less from the state now, that they could not afford to give up that local sales tax for those for that weekend. So the state legislature, the governor, all the folks up there in Atlanta are saying it's because we heard from the leaderships of the 159 counties in the state, and they say, please don't do this because we need that money in our counties.
So the state listens to that, but they don't listen to all these other complaints.
That's right.
Local counties and governments have.
That's right.
I'm not buying that argument.
You're not buying that? Well, that's what they're saying, Bob.
If they're gonna listen.
Isn't that just a nice PC thing to say? Well, we're going to put it on the counties because the counties don't want to miss out on that sales tax for those 2 days.
If they're going to listen to the cities and counties on that issue, then why aren't they listening to the cities and counties on all these other issues? That's the argument. If you're going to listen to them on that day, weekend, why don't you listen to all these other arguments that they're talking about?
I don't know, but Bob, you may be right on the paying the property taxes on those old vehicles. It says still paying old amount. I bought both cars before the new law, so you're right, Bob. So if you bought that car before the new law, you're still paying those property taxes.
Right. You just said you had to buy a new vehicle when the new law went into effect.
So that's the reason why they're doing that is because you had to pay all those taxes up front when you buy a new vehicle. You pay them when you buy a vehicle now. It doesn't have to be necessarily a new vehicle. It can be any vehicle. But if you bought a vehicle after that law was passed, you pay a bunch of money up front. At that time, when you buy that vehicle, you pay a lot more money then in taxes than you did before. If you had a vehicle before that new law, now they're still assessing taxes on there. So you were right about that, and I forgot about that. But if you bought it before the new law, you're still paying those property taxes. But that's been several years ago.
It's been, I'm not sure.
Because my car is a 2013, and I still pay just a 20, so it must have been before that sometime. Okay, how much money is the county receiving from the ad valorem tax when you purchase a vehicle? Now they do all that property tax, ad valorem tax up front. You pay quite a bit when you buy a vehicle these days, whether new or used, you pay quite a bit. How much does the county receive out of that? I guess we'd have to talk to Denise about that. Let's say it's a $25,000 vehicle, and they assess the whatever percentage they do on property taxes 40%. I don't know if it's on vehicles that way. The county's going to get so much. The state's going to get so much. So out of that, let's say that you pay $2,000 in ad valorem taxes when you purchase a vehicle these days. That's just let's say an example. How much does the county get, and how much does the state get? I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm sure that if you call down to the tax office there, the tax office, they could give you some idea, or perhaps maybe we can get Denise on here, or maybe you can just ask her, call her and say, hey, how much you get out of a car on the ad valorem taxes here in Wayne in the counties? That'd be an interesting thing to know. I just know that from everything that I hear and see and read and listen to folks that that counties in the state are hurting because they're getting a lot less from the state than they used to. And of course, the state says, well, we've got to do that because we're getting a lot less from the feds. And so everybody's passing the blame of the food chain there, Bob.
Just pass the buck.
Pass the buck. The buck does not stop here. It passes one level up the food chain. But I do know counties are hurting because, you cut out so many things that the counties and the school boards and all that used to receive, but they don't anymore.
The one thing I said in one of the proposals, and I said is to borrow another $500,000 more, and they said the county was trying to get out of that borrowing business because that's been a big issue. They always have to borrow money to operate. So one one of the proposals is to borrow $500,000 more when they've been cutting out $500,000 every year.
Right.
So
Trying to cut that back.
So that's the problem with the county too. They're already in a bad situation at the beginning of the year. We have to go borrow that tax anticipation note for $3.5 million. At one point it was at $6 million. They got it down to 3.5. So they continue to try to get that where they don't have to borrow any money. But
Right.
they're still not in that situation. But the proposal to have to borrow $500,000 more doesn't sound good to me. So.
No, it's what do you do? The worst of the less of two evils. Do you raise the millage rate or do you borrow money? And I don't envy any type of way. And I'm glad I'm not in the shoes of the county commissioners because they're all fine folks. They try to do the best for the county. Of course, they do have to follow laws. They do have to go by the rules and regulations. Sometimes we don't understand as citizens. And each one of those guys will are sitting there, well, what do we do? What's the best thing to do, And they'll make that decision tonight. And you'll pass the news along tomorrow morning and see what they did and why they did it.
Decision has to be made.
Has to be made. That's what we put off. Let me tell you, when you become an elected official, there's nothing there that says this is going to be an easy job. It's a very difficult job to do. You're not the boss. You can't tell anybody what to do. You got the state with all kinds of rules and regulations that you've got to follow. You got Fed laws, rules and regulations you have to follow. If you go against the advice of your county attorney or attorneys that you hire on a subcontract basis, if you go against that, then you're putting the county at risk. So I don't envy those guys. I know the pressure that they go through. I mean, you can see it on their faces. You can hear it in their words that this is a tough job being an elected official. And we wish them the best tonight as they make the best decision, the right decision for Wayne County, because no matter what they do, it looks like it's going to hurt us a little bit financially.
They're definitely not staying the same. So they have to increase it. The question is how high is the increase?
How much they increase or do you borrow?
And we'll find out tonight.
Well, one good thing about Wayne County, they've done here now, is the fact that it looks like the tax bills have gone out, and if everything goes as planned, that Wayne County will have most of its tax money in by the end of the year instead of the beginning of next year like it has been for so many years because of those lawsuits. Well, Bob, we're out of time. Any other thing on your mind this morning? That's it? All right. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, located on Northeast Broad Street in Jessup, just down from the Big Red Caboose. Also brought to you by Republic Services and by Jessup Premium Storage, and also brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. The time